सत श्री अकाल। कुछ भी कहने तो पहला मैं इतिहास का एक होर पन्ना छोटा जिहा एक पन्ना तुहाडे सामने रख दियां। बबल्स ने इतिहास से बहुत सारी चीज़ां दसियां और आई एम ट्रूली ब्लैसड कि मैनू इस कथा तो इन्हां दी इस नरेशन तो मैनू इन्ना ज्ञान मिलिया बीबी पानी के बारे ते एक होर छोटी जी वारदात 95 साल पहले की है जिहड़ी मैं तुहाडे नाल शेयर करांगी। 1917 थोड़ी होर अगे आ गए आपां। 1917 there were thousands of women working in Russia in factories और उन्हां दा एग्जाम्पल मैं आज ले रही हाँ बोलने वास्ते। These women were weak, they were poor and they lived in very poor living conditions with no say in the society, and they had families to look after. Around that time, Russia was under a powerful, ruthless and uncaring ruler. At that time also, like today, Russia went into a war. Incidentally, that was the World War. And this war continued for 3 long years. Now you can imagine, in current times, we've seen countries in a war situation for just about 2 weeks. And what the situation of the world is, not just politically, but socially, emotionally, financially, we are all distraught. We are all waiting and watching what will happen next. Whatever is happening, we are distraught by that. Oh, Dinach, us vele, the war continued for 3 long years. And at that time in 1917, when enough was enough, these factory women were extremely tired. And they had families to feed. They had to take home money. Their salaries had not been paid. They were hungry, children were hungry. And on March 8th, 1917, these suffering Russian women, they started a strike, and this was to demand for food, for peace, for a hopeful future. बस खाने की रोटी, देश में अमन चैन और उनके हक। 4 days into the strike, demonstrations and protests, the once powerful Tsar, Nicholas II, जिसकी मैं बात कर रही हूँ, he was forced to leave. A new government came, and soon the situation improved for these women for the first time. And this victory of women, because they spoke up, it was the downfall of a very strong ruler, someone who was ruthless, uncaring and hardcore notorious. The women also fought for the right to vote. Because these women had spoken out for the first time, they were heard. That demonstration on 8th March 1917 was the beginning of celebration of what we call today the International Women's Day. My dear sisters and friends, भैनां इत्थे जिहड़ियां आईयां होईयां, मेरी वड्डी भैनां, छोटे बच्चे, my daughters, my dear sisters, on the occasion of International Women's Day, I am honored and privileged to be a part of Gurudwara Seva. I am delighted to be here and to celebrate International Women's Day with all of you here, because it is a special day, our day, and a day to celebrate with each other. To celebrate us, Gurudwara is a sacred place where today we have been offered an opportunity to do seva. In today's day and age, we are in a good place. In UAE, things are pretty good for women. We feel safe and free, and we are in a time when there is plenty of opportunity offered to us. कहने वास्ते तो बहुत कुछ है, but I just like to say a few things, one or two things that I'm here to ask of you, to implore you to take up not only the opportunities offered to you and just wait for opportunities to come. I'm here to tell you that just like these simple factory women in Russia in 1917, I want you to go up there and make those opportunities, create new situations for yourself. You can grow. वो घंटी है हमारे लिए, बज रही है हमें बताने के लिए कि हमारा टाइम हो गया है, where you can grow and you can make things happen and make the change that you want to be. And the very first step in creating these opportunities for ourselves, in changing our status quo, is to communicate and express ourselves freely and unapologetically. So ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਰੀਏ? By expressing our needs to others well, by vocalizing our feelings to others, by establishing communication with our family, friends, people at work that helps them to know how we feel, what we want. We need to express our needs. हम क्या चाहते हैं, क्या सोचते हैं, क्या करना चाहते हैं, हमें इस चीज़ को एक्सप्रेस करने में बिल्कुल भी हिचकिचाना नहीं है, हमें उसमें देर नहीं करनी. Please communicate and express your needs. Please don't go through life trying to be as small, silent, accommodating and convenient as possible. Speak your mind even if your voice shakes. Don't be modest. Accept your strengths, abilities, intelligence and energy. You don't have to be strong because it is a given that you are strong. Each one of us is strong. Each one of us needs to tell others around us that we are strong and we are there for you. Each one of us needs to communicate to our sons and daughters and to brothers and sisters how we feel and what we want. We need to be fierce and unapologetic always. Only then it is possible to understand us and for others to understand and empathize with us and help us change things around us. Together we have to remind and reimagine a world where we are the change makers, to make change that helps us build a better world together. We need to make it a gender equal world. If we want our daughters to succeed, we need to show them and share with them that we are succeeding. If we want a world free of bias and discrimination, we need to speak up against bias and discrimination. In our own households, in our professional lives, we need to express freely what our needs and desires are. We need to create opportunities within our family, friendships, and in the world where we are valued, listened to, and a world we are not left behind in. In order to bring about this shift in our situation, there has to be an internal shift in our thinking that will make us stronger human beings and balance out the situation in our lives. While we may be endowed with qualities like being gentle and soft-spoken, loving, caring, empathetic and sacrificing, we are also being gentle, but we are also brought up with the expectation that we have just those qualities. But just these, but with just these, we are like the bird that has only one wing to fly with instead of two. Today we need to grow the other wing so that this bird can fly with a better balance and meet with current changes, challenges and demands. In order to do that, we need to develop the faculties in us that are latent, that are suppressed and not recognized as even existing inside us. We have to develop faculties like expressing ourselves, asserting ourselves, planning better, understanding the bigger picture in any situation before taking a step, and making decisions about finance and future of the family, and raising our voice even when needed. कभी इमोशंस और कभी सॉफ्ट साइड हमारी, और कभी आवाज़ को बुलंद करके हम अपनी बात दूसरों तक पहुंचा सकते हैं. But again, going back to the example of the bird, when it is flying in the air and it wants to shift direction, it always tilts itself to the side where it wants to go. And it uses the wing that is needed to fly higher or change direction, even when the currents are against it. Similarly, in order to grow our second wing, we women need to start using those faculties, those abilities that are inside us, that have been inside us, but they have not developed. Because of expectation of others and the challenges these expectations of others create for us. My dear sisters, I am grateful to be a part of community of all of you who are as strong and talented as this. I am really grateful to be in the seva of Maharaj. I just want to remind you to be strong. Remember, you must communicate your needs and don't forget to start growing your second wing. This world is yours to take. Thank you.